Fueled by Craft. And as you can tell by the title, just to go right into it, it's a lot going on in Michigan, man, whether that be for good or for bad, football or basketball. A lot of things going on pertaining to Michigan. This video is about everything that's going on football and basketball related pertaining to Michigan University. The elephant in the room, the most obvious story, Sherrone Moore, former head coach of the Michigan Wolverines, as I'm recording this, was yesterday in the morning, was relieved from his job, fired with cause. Sherrone Moore, he was fired with cause basically for violating team policy, which was he had a inappropriate relationship with another staff member. As we got more details going into the day, we found out that he actually allegedly cheated on his wife with a staff member, got the lady pregnant apparently, crashed out, went to her house, threatened to take his and her life, however he threatened to do that. And his wife gave the drop on him basically, and they caught him at a church. And as I'm recording this, he is currently in custody. So, long story short, that's what's going on in the Michigan side. Like I said, due to him violating policy, and a lot of coaches do this, and a lot of colleges do this, they're able to fire him with cause. They can fire him without having to pay him the money that he's owed or the money that's due on his contract. Unfortunate as this situation may seem, the truth is it happens all the time, and it happens a lot. Well, I don't want to say all the time, but it happens a lot more often than we would be privy to. A current example is Lane Kiffin. He was glorified at Ole Miss. You know, they were joking about giving him a statue. This year, Ole Miss is having the best season they've ever had. Lane Kiffin decides to take an LSU job, and now there's messages coming out about him messing around with girls, messages about him being inappropriate with the hot yoga, and everything is alleged. No way to prove that all this is true, but you know, heads up to Lane Kiffin. I would just take this situation and walk on a straight line at LSU because A.J. McCarron and other former college and NFL players have came out and said that LSU is pretty much known to hire guys to follow coaches around, get dirt on them. That way, if they don't want this coach anymore, they could do something like this, fire him with cause and don't have to pay him. Michigan knew about this. Who knows how long they knew about it, but the point is they knew about it before the news came out to us. Some say it was tweets coming out from anonymous pages on Twitter, you know, fake pages made by these sources to put this stuff out in the media to kind of already get it brewing. The rumor is the school already knew what was going on. And the timing of them releasing this news, I don't think is a coincidence. This comes about a week after National Signing Day. And as you can imagine, if they would have announced it prior to signing day, who knows how many decommits they would have had. So they waited till they got these guys in the building, waited till these students came and verbally committed to them. Playing devil's advocate, that is a smart move by the university, but morally, I just don't think that that's the right thing to do. I think you should let these kids know what's going on. That way they have time to, if they decide to leave the university, to do that respectfully and have their chance to play at the school they want to play at. And then, like I said, apparently this isn't new news. The sources I'm getting from just different former players, anonymous people listening to these different podcasts of former players and people who have ties to this said situation said this isn't news. Agents were warned about this potential job opening weeks ago. And it just sucks for Michigan because this is all coming out on the back end of an insane coaching carousel. If this would have came out 2 to 3 weeks ago, I would imagine that they could have already have a new coach in place and starting on building a new team. You look at James Franklin at Virginia Tech. These commits are flipping like crazy, following him to Virginia Tech. So, obviously there's a lot of information that I laid out because I don't want this to be like a gossip page, more just kind of bring it to light what's going on. You can look up more further details about this case. But the big question coming out of this is, what does Michigan do now? They don't have a head coach. They have one of the best recruiting classes in the nation so far. Michigan is a top 10 coaching job in college football. So what do they do now? They need to get a coach. They need to put some money together because that's what it's going to take to get one of these coaches to come over to Michigan with the dumpster fire got going on. Got to move fast. They can't waste any time. Try to retain as many of these players that you can because honestly, this situation is ugly enough to where I see a lot of players already decommitting, especially after the cheating allegations that were going on before this Sherrone Moore stuff is happening. So 2 years, not even 2 years being removed from being a national champion, Michigan is looking for their third head coach. A few names come to mind that no doubt Michigan should get a call. Even if they don't accept the job or they tell you no, you got to make these guys say no, especially with the amount of money you're going to offer these guys. Dan Lanning out of Oregon, Marcus Freeman out of Notre Dame, Kenny Dillingham out of Arizona State, John Gruden, who's a free agent, Mike Elko, Texas A&M, Clark Lee out of Vanderbilt, and Kalen DeBoer out of Alabama. I think it's important that Michigan is really aggressive and try to get one of these guys as a new head coach for Michigan. To be honest, I don't see Dan Lanning leaving. He didn't even leave for the Alabama job a few years ago. Marcus Freeman seems like he has a pretty decent situation out of Notre Dame, even though they just barely did make the college playoff. But 2 years ago, they were in the national championship. Kenny Dillingham, a guy from Arizona State, is honestly a guy who I think is really fit for this job and will be a really good replacement coach for the Michigan Wolverines. The only thing is him and Clark Lee, head coach at Vanderbilt, they're coaching at their alma maters. So it's kind of hard to pull these guys from schools they have so many ties to and so many years built into. But Jon Gruden, I think, will be an excellent choice for them. A lot of people saying the game has passed him by. His offense is too old. But just based off the things I'm seeing him put out, it looks like he's adapting. He's learning these new things. And his love and passion for the game, especially at this level, at the college level, I think more than anything is getting these players to believe in themselves and being a leader of young men, which I think Jon Gruden can do a great job of getting these guys fired up, locked in, and keeping the main thing. So, yeah, man, a lot of crazy stuff going on in Michigan. Like I said, unfortunately, they just missed a crazy coaching carousel. So I'm really interested to see who they bring in as the new head coach for the Michigan Wolverines. And one last thought on Sherrone Moore. The crazy thing about this is, though, as morally and ethically as this is bad, he would have got another coaching opportunity within the next year or so. The crash out is really the downfall and really made him radioactive to, I think, any coaching jobs here in the near future, if ever again, considering the fact that he was threatening to take people's lives. So, Michigan football, a lot of things going on. But a complete 180 flip side of the coin. Michigan Hoops is doing great. Number 2 ranked in the nation. Currently 9-0 as I've recorded this video. And not only are they winning games, but they're winning games by double digits, making statements. And similar to OKC, their star players are sitting out before the game is even over. Led by head coach Dusty May, who's in his second year. In his first year, he took an 8-24 Michigan team from the year before to win a Big Ten tournament and even made a Sweet 16 appearance last year. So a huge turnaround in only a 1-year span. And right now in his second year coaching, he's got Michigan ranked 2nd nationally. And like I said, they're handling teams with ease. Led by Yaxel Lindenberg, 15 points per game, 7 rebounds, 2 stocks. He's a transfer coming in. I think he was from UAB, but he tested the draft. He tested the draft combine, decided to come back to school, and honestly had a slower start compared to, what his expectations were. He was, I think, predicted to be an All-American player. But he's but he's kind of coming into his own as the leader of this Michigan team and kind of giving that bad boy energy that they had, kind of edgy, raw, filled with a lot of emotion, but just a really versatile player on the court. The biggest takeaway from Yaxel is he's just an intelligent basketball player, makes the right plays with intensity. And something that doesn't get talked about a lot is he's nearly tripled his three-point volume from last year. So in 2024, 2025, he was taking about 1.9 threes a game, shooting 35%. Well, this year in 9 games, he's shooting about 5 threes a game at 39%. So taking more, higher volume, more efficient, really goes to show how much time he's putting into the gym, how much he's focused on getting his game better, and just a really great player. If you don't watch him play, I would definitely recommend checking him out. High energy guy, somebody you would love to play with. And Michigan as a whole, they just aren't winning, man. They're winning games. They're controlling these games with physicality. Yaxel, the leader in that, and pace. They have an elite half-court offense. And most importantly, they have a defense that travels, which I think is a really important thing, especially going into March and building your team to prepare for March. Defense is a huge thing. They got plenty of guys on the offensive end that can score the ball. Like, they don't lean necessarily on one hot player. It's a collective effort. Clearly some early season consistency. Even guys like Elliot Cadeau, who I wasn't too big on in North Carolina, he's turned into Steph Curry recently, getting really hot from downtown and just really doing a good job at being the quarterback for that offense and putting them guys in good positions to score baskets. And they've been blowing teams out, man. So that's just a testament to how good of a coach Dusty May is. He's got these guys locked in. And Michigan, like I said, pretty opposite from the football program, is thriving right now. So when the football program was doing good, the basketball school wasn't. They won a national championship in football. They won 8 games in basketball. Now they're number 2 ranked in the nation in basketball. Ultimate crash out going on in the football facility. A lot going on in Michigan really early in the basketball season. I hope they get it figured out head coaching-wise in the football program. Let me know what you guys think, whether that be about the football or the basketball program. This is Fueled by Craft. Appreciate you guys for watching.